Dutton, Flores, Hancock, Harmon, Hollingsworth, Huff, Kehoe, Leno, Liu, Lowenthal, Negrete McLeod, Oropesa, Padilla, Pavley, Price, Romero, Runner, Smidian, Steinberg, Strickland, Walters, Wiggins, Wolk, Wright, Weiland, Yee. Mr. President, we are lacking a quorum.
The absence of a quorum having been duly noted, we will ask the Sergeant-at-Arms to lock the doors and call the absent members.
Onnested, Alquist, Ashburn, Calderon, Cedillo, Cogdill, Corbett, Correa, Cox, Denham, DeSaunier, Ducheney, Dutton, Flores, Hancock, Harmon, Hollingsworth, Huff, Kehoe, Leno, Liu, Lowenthal, Negrete McLeod, Oropesa, Padilla, Pavley, Price, Romero, Runner, Smidian, Steinberg, Strickland, Walters, Wiggins, Wolk, Wright, Weiland, Yee. Mr. President.
A quorum is lacking. Sergeant-at-Arms, please call the absent members. Members, if you are within the sound of my voice, please report to the Senate chambers so that the Senate may begin its business. Members, that quorum having been established, with the members and our guests beyond the rail, please rise. We will be led in prayer this morning by our chaplain, Rabbi Mona Alfi, after which please remain standing. We will be led in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag by Senator Cox. Rabbi?
Good morning. Harold Melchert gave this advice on how to experience the pilgrimage of life. He wrote, "Live your life each day as you would climb a mountain. An occasional glance towards the summit keeps the goal in mind, but many beautiful scenes are to be observed from each new vantage point. Climb slowly, steadily, enjoying each passing moment, and the view from the summit will serve as a fitting climax for the journey. May we always remember to stop and experience the view from where we are, and may we never be so intimidated by the distance between ourselves and the summit that we become too overwhelmed to continue. May the Holy One bless us with strength and with stamina, with courage and with the ability to glory in the moment. And when the day comes that we stand at the summit of our lives, may we look at our journey with satisfaction and with peace. May this be God's will. Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Rabbi. Thank you, Senator Cox. Privileges of the floor. Senator Yee, not at his desk. Senator DeSaulnier. Privileges of the floor, sir. Senator Steinberg.
I don't know if we want to do these ceremonies first, some of these ceremonies first. Mr. President, I'd like to call a brief Democratic caucus in the Maddie Lounge, and then we'll begin with a very important and exciting day.
All right. Thank you, Senator Steinberg. Members, Democratic Caucus, Maddie Lounge. Democratic Caucus, Maddie Lounge. Democratic caucus has been completed. Could we ask that absent members return to the Senate chambers so that we may continue the business of the Senate? Once again, Democratic caucus has been completed. May we ask that absent members please return to the Senate chambers so that we can continue with Senate business. Members, without objection, Senate Rule 55 will be suspended to allow lobbyists on the floor. Also, without objection, Senator Steinberg requests permission to have photographers on the floor. Seeing and hearing no objections, so ordered.
Serious. Okay, guys. Did you say ready? Okay. Mr. President.
Senator Yee, for what purpose do you rise, sir?
For the purpose of introduction.
Please proceed.
Thank you very much. Mr. President, members, it's my privilege to introduce 6 distinguished visitors from Malaysia here in the back of the chamber. This is a delegation comprised of government officials and NGO representatives who are leaders in their field on the issue of stemming the tide of human trafficking, not only in their country but throughout the world. The focus of their program in the United States has been to examine this global problem and learn methods and best practices of prevention. They are particularly interested in California's effort in combating human trafficking, such as detention, prosecuting perpetrators, and assisting victims. Please join me in welcoming this distinguished delegation. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Yee. Senator Yee, the entire Senate joins you in welcoming our guests from Malaysia, and we appreciate their patience with the Senate this morning as our schedule has been a little bit uneven. Senator Lowenthal, for what purpose do you rise, sir?
Presenting a resolution.
Thank you, Senator Lowenthal. If you would speak from Senator Steinberg's desk. And why don't you take just one moment, Senator Lowenthal, while our guests from Malaysia are able to make way for your presentation. Thank you, Senator Lowenthal. Senator Lowenthal at Senator Steinberg's desk. Proceed.
Thank you, members. Each year, we here in the Capitol host the California Maritime
Senator
Leadership.
Lowenthal, forgive me. One moment, please, sir. Members, if the Senate would please come to order.
Each year in the Capitol, we host the California Maritime Leadership Symposium. And really what this is leaders from all over the state and the nation come to California because California ports lead the nation. We are the environmental stewards of the nation. We have the greatest amount of cargo going in and out of our ports, out of the 11 public ports. And each year, we honor one person or organization, and this is the 10th year. This year, I am pleased to honor the California Association of Port Authorities, who represent the 11 ports in the state. They are the backbone of our economy. They have led California and will continue to lead California in the resurgence into the new economy that is emerging as part of the global economy. We should be very proud of these state assets that really are. And I am pleased today to present this resolution to Tony Taormina from the Port of Redwood City. Wainimi, I'm sorry. I am sorry. It's Wainimi, who is the chair of the California Association of Port Authorities, for his dedicated leadership in helping to lead California as the nation's leader in cargo that moves in and out of our ports. It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Senator Lowenthal, the entire Senate joins you in welcoming your guests. We're pleased to have them both here on the floor and in the gallery today. We appreciate the work they do.
In the gallery, those are all members of the California Maritime Leadership Symposium.
Right, once again. And do we have any folks in the gallery who are here from Santa Cruz County today by any chance? We do. We want to welcome our visiting guests from Santa Cruz County who are here today with their elementary school members. These are either my constituents or they're awfully close to being my constituents, and I'm particularly pleased to have them here today. If you would join me in welcoming them to the California State Senate, please. Welcome. Thank you.
Mr. President, I now know how Roy Ashburn feels in the Republican caucus. I just want to take a moment to have the Senate recognize a really great group of young people and their coaches and a wonderful college. St. Mary's College in Moraga, in the bucolic town of Moraga, started athletics in the 1870s. Senator Lowenthal will remember that. And this particular group of people, a basketball team, I've got two laughs. This particular team, the St. Mary's basketball team this year, won the West Coast Conference and then went into the NCAAs as a 10th seed, very well respected, but not expected to go very far. And they made it to the Sweet 16, the only California team this year to make it to the Sweet 16. I think we would all agree why we're proud of all of our scholar athletes in California. This team exhibited a spirit and a collaborative effort that we're all proud of, and watching them on television, I think, inspired many Californians. In addition to that, the program has been successful from an academic standpoint. They have an 87% graduation rate, so we're proud of that as well. Senator Ashburn and his short jokes continue to amuse us all.
Please proceed, Senator.
So with that, I would ask their coach, Randy Bennett. Also like to mention that the team is noted because it has a lot of representatives from Australia. So when we had a ceremony last week, it was the Australian flag was prominent, and a representative from the Australian consulate is with us today as well. So I'd ask us all to first hear the coach just briefly to list all the players' names, make a brief comment, and then recognize them as I present them.
Senator, before we hear from the coach and recognize the players, I would also like to hear from State Senator Lonnie Hancock at her desk.
Thank you so much, Mr. President, Mr. DeSaulnier, and St. Mary's. I'd like to add my congratulations to the St. Mary's men's basketball team. They may be in Senator DeSaulnier's Senate district, but St. Mary's College was in my assembly district. We worked with the college for many years. We're so proud of your athletic success, your academic success, your commitment to excellence in every way. Congratulations.
Senator DeSaulnier, I'd like to just say thank you and all the members for the Senate having us out here. What an honor. We've never done this before. I've never been here. Our players have never been here. It's awesome. So I want to thank you. I want to introduce our players. These are three of them, and the others had to take class, so hopefully they'll graduate, maybe work their way out here someday. These are guys that didn't need to. They're in good shape. Ben Allen from Australia, Phil Benson from Arizona, Mickey McConnell from Arizona.
Welcome, gentlemen.
Yeah, just want to apologize for wrecking everybody's brackets. These guys were the reason they wrecked your NCAA tournament brackets this year. Thank you.
Thank you again for joining us today on the floor. Members, I believe that completes items under privileges of the floor. Is Senator Steinberg in the chamber? No. All right. This would be the appropriate time then for reports of committees. These will be deemed read and amendments adopted. Motions, resolutions, and notices. Introduction and first reading of bills. Bills are deemed read. Senator Lowenthal, for what purpose do you rise, sir?
Is this the appropriate time to remove an item from the consent calendar for purposes of amendment?
Absolutely, Senator Lowenthal.
I would like to remove SB 1328.
Quiet, please.
I would like to remove SB 1328, greenhouse gas emissions, to remove from the consent calendar for purposes of amendment.
And that is file item
I don't
106, Senator. Could you please confirm for the desk?
Is it? It is? Okay.
All right, thank you. Without objection, are there any other members who have items they wish to remove from the file? Members, any other items you wish to have removed from the file? All right. Any other items under motions and resolutions? Senator Yee, do you have any items under motions and resolutions? Thank you. All right. Any other items under motions and resolutions, members? Then we will move briefly to the consideration of the daily file. Second reading file, members, is items 1 through 16. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 1041 with amendments, 877, 1038, 1285, 931, 1220, 1422, 1070, 1374, 1023, 1039, 1069 with amendments, ACR 113, AB 1374, 139, and 1668 with amendments.
The second reading file will be deemed read. Under Governor's appointments, passed temporarily. Under unfinished business, items 23 through 25. Members, Senate third reading are items 32 through 79. And let me just ask Senator Steinberg, would you like me to pause for a moment while you can take our guest to the rear of the chambers? All right. Members, we will just pause briefly. Apparently, Senator Steinberg has a guest he wishes to introduce. Members, a reminder that upon completion of today's session, a number of our budget subcommittees will be holding sessions, if not immediately thereafter, shortly thereafter. I would ask that the budget subcommittee chairs take note of the time when we are prepared to recess for the day and announce just prior to our recess the location and time of their budget subcommittee hearings so that members can plan their schedules accordingly. And again, members, we have budget subcommittee hearings for a number of the budget subcommittees, and I would ask that chairs of the budget subcommittees announce just prior to our recess later today the location and time for those hearings. Members, if I could ask that every member of the Senate please take your seat for Senator Steinberg's comments. Once again, if we could ask members to take their seats, we want to. Senator Steinberg, I noticed that there's a gentleman in your seat. Is there some change of duties about which you wish to inform the Senate? Members, if we could ask you once again to take your seats. One moment, please, Senator Steinberg.
Mr. President and members, as senators, we have the privilege and the opportunity to meet a lot of important and famous people who come through our chambers. But I've got to say, and I think I speak for all my colleagues, I've never been more excited than to have the opportunity to meet Willie Mays and to honor him today. And that's just your first standing ovation. Happy birthday, Willie Mays. And let us begin by acknowledging that no one ever did their job better than our special guest here today. If you were having a beer in the Bronx and started talking baseball, someone no doubt would bring up Babe Ruth or Mickey Mantle or Lou Gehrig or Joe DiMaggio. In Boston, you would hear about the sweet swing of Ted Williams, and in Atlanta, Milwaukee, you were told that no one was more reliable than the great Henry Aaron. Detroit would talk about the high spikes and high stealing antics of Ty Cobb, and Pittsburgh would speak forcefully about the grace and the talent of Roberto Clemente. However, and I say this with all due respect, when the talk is over, when the statistics are read, and the enthusiasm, the glory, and the grace that he has brought to this game are given full consideration they deserved, it will be noted that right here today on May 6, 2010, on the floor of the California State Senate, that number 24 for the New York and San Francisco Giants, Willie Mays, is the greatest baseball player of all time. Willie Mays brings us so many magic moments that we all want to hold on to. I know for myself, I grew up 15 minutes from Candlestick Park in Millbrae and spent so many afternoons and evenings watching number 24 make it so easy. He is one of those rare athletes who is even more a blur of wonderful memories than any statistic or single accomplishment. 660 home runs, 300 batting average. I know all that stuff, okay? Leo Durocher once said of Willie Mays, he could not only hit, he could hit for power. He hit 660 home runs. He drove in 1,093 RBIs. He is only one of 3 players who played in 24 All-Star games. And it wasn't always easy, because there's a history here, and I know there's been a recent excellent biography written about Willie's life. He began his professional career as a youthful star of a segregated semi-pro Negro League. He got his first major league hit with a home run off the brilliant Warren Spahn. His bucket catch was part of the playfulness he brought to America's pastime. I think somebody said where Willie's glove was where home runs go to die. If you saw him run the bases in person, either stealing bases with his cap flying off of his head or rounding the bag, you never doubted that you were seeing perfection. Willie now begins his 80th year. I would hope that here on the Senate floor and throughout California that we celebrate his life, not only his extraordinary accomplishments as a baseball player, but his fundamental decency as a human being. He's admired as an athlete. Willie Mays is loved as a person. The life of Willie Mays encompasses not only the great changes that have taken place in the way we play our sports, but in the way we live our lives as Californians. The young man who could not eat in the restaurants of some of the cities where he played ball, is now an honored guest everywhere he goes. Today, let us proclaim Willie Mays Day in California. Say hey! Would you like to say a few words?
Yes.
Yes, please. Right here.
Senator Steinberg, would your guest like to say a word or two?
Yes, please, without objection.
Hearing no objection, Mr. Mays, welcome.
Right there. He's through?
I'm done. That was short.
First of all, I like to thank you very, very much. I had surgery on my eye, and I decided I wouldn't go anywhere. But I was called to come to SAC and be here with so many great minds. Even though I may not see who you are, you know who I am. I have no idea that the minds are so great that I couldn't miss it. Baseball is my game. I know baseball, but I don't know all the details about what you do and how you study, details of what you have to do about California. California needs help, and I'm one of the guys that try to help whatever I can do. I know it's important that people say, I can't afford it, but if you give $10, $15, $20, we'll catch up. I came from New York, and I like New York. But I came to California, I began to love California. I began to buy homes that I had no problem with. So when I was told, you have to go to SAC, it was no big deal. You didn't have to convince me. I was going to come anyway. With all the accolation of what you're clapping for, and those things was my pleasure. I played baseball to make sure my family eat. When I was 16, I was making $600 a month. You may say, well, that's not a lot of money. But in my day, $600 a month I could buy a lot of eggs, a lot of milk, a lot of stuff that I could make sure my family eat very, very well. My father used to call me at night and says, you turn the other cheek, don't fight. But I would fight, and I would take on one-on-one, but I had to back up. But when I came here this morning, last night, I understood what he was saying. He was saying to me, if you fight, you're going to be back at home with me, and everything is going to be lost. All the problems that I had when I came to the Giants, I don't have those problems now because of you people. You have the power to do so many great things, and you do it with a smile. And that's what I like about people. Sometimes it's not really the smile, and sometimes people give you a half smile. But I enjoy this kind of stuff. I enjoy the knowledge that you guys have about me. And young ladies, don't let me forget you now. I've been taking pictures, and I can't see who I'm talking to because it's going to take me 2 months to get everything back together, I hope. But it's just a warm, delightful things that I have to offer. I know I'm not supposed to take up too much of your time because you had your coffee, you got to get back to work. I know that. So, how long do I have now?
Take it now, as long as you want.
It's your birthday.
It's your birthday. It's Willie Mays Day.
Well, is it Willie Mays Day next year?
Every year.
Yeah. And the reason I said that is that I want to come and spend it with you guys.
Great.
And I want to make sure that whatever I do is going to be positive. That's why I said I don't want to take up a lot of your time. You have given me already enough for me. Sometimes I cry. And when you do cry, you let off steam. You enjoy the people that's around you. You enjoy the people that's taking pictures. I don't know who they are, but shoot right on. It's just,
They're from the newspapers. You're going to be in the newspaper here.
Oh, he's saying I'm going to be in the newspaper. I've been in the newspaper 50 years. I didn't just start yesterday, Yeah. I have a cold right now because when you come to a place like this, it's just, I don't have words. It's magnificent. You know that when you come on the floor, there's somebody I'm supposed to know. I don't know who I'm supposed to know, but again, you know me.
We love you. Thank you, Willie.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay. Thank you.
Really was a very special comment.
Thank you.
Mr. Mays, it has been our privilege to honor you here today. We are honored by your presence, and please be assured that every member of the California State Senate sends you on your way with a smile, sir. With a smile, thank you once again for joining us.
Mr. President, there are orange and black cupcakes in room 215. And I want to thank Aaron Reed and Terry McHale for helping to arrange this here today as well. All right, thank you.
Senator Steinberg, what are your wishes, Senator Steinberg, with respect to the Democratic caucus?
Why don't we'll call the caucus in 10 minutes, all right? 10
Then, Senator Steinberg, with your concurrence, the Senate will be in recess for 10 minutes, at which time there will be a Democratic caucus in the Maddie Lounge. 10 minutes, Democratic caucus in the Maddie Lounge. Until that time, the Senate is in recess.